In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet my cozy hooded cowl pattern. For more information, please check out the drop-down description box below. Thanks for watching. Now let's get started. For materials, you will need a tape measure, a pair of scissors, a yarn needle for weaving in ends, your choice of crochet hook. I am using a 6mm crochet hook, and the best type of yarn that you wish to use. I am using a regular worsted weight acrylic yarn. To begin, create a slip knot of your choice. For this slip knot, I am wrapping the yarn around my fingers twice, taking the back yarn and pulling it to the front. And then now what is the back yarn, pulling it up and over my finger. Now I'm going to show you the foundation half double crochet. You're going to chain 2. Into the second chain from hook, you're going to grab 2 of those loops on the chain. Grab your yarn and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through 1 loop. This creates the base of the stitch. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook. Again, we're going to yarn over, and into that base chain, we're going to grab 2 loops. Grab your yarn and pull up a loop. Yarn over and chain 1, and now yarn over and complete the half double crochet. You want to make sure and only grab those bottom loops. You should just have 2 bottom loops. Otherwise, your work will have more holes in it. This method is great because we are creating our chain and our very first half double crochet row. We're going to continue working in this fashion until our work is about 29 or 30 inches long and between 74 and 77 centimeters. I'm going to work away a little bit more on this foundation half double crochet, and if you enjoy my content, ways to support the channel for free would be to hit that like button, leave a comment, and be sure to share this tutorial with your friends. Other ways to support the channel are sending a super chat, which any amount is very much appreciated. You can also use the link on my channel page if you would like to do a PayPal donation. Again, most importantly, thank you so much for watching and subscribing. I absolutely love having you part of this channel. Once you have completed your half double crochet foundation row or chained and made a complete row 1 of the half double crochets, you're going to fold your work, and here I'm just folding it so that it is flat and making a complete loop without any twists. Then I'm going to slip stitch to the very first stitch. I'm going through both loops of the top stitch. We're going to worry about closing the bottom of the cowl here at the end of our work. Now we're going to create what is called a camel stitch. You're going to chain 1, and then looking from the top of your work here, you have the top 2 loops of the top of your stitch, a front loop and a back loop, and then right behind it with the half double crochet you're going to have this extra loop. Insert your hook into that extra loop, and then we're going to half double crochet. Again, we're going to do the same with the next stitch. There's the top stitch and then that loop in the back. Yarn over, insert your hook, not into the top of the stitch like this. We're going to grab that back loop, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then half double crochet. Again into the next stitch. This pushes the stitches forward, creating a beautiful texture. Continue with the camel stitch into each stitch all the way around. Once you get to the end of the row, you're simply going to slip stitch, just like we did when we completed the foundation half double crochet, and then begin the next row just like we began this row with a chain 1 and camel stitch into each stitch all the way around. I worked these rows until I had between 16 and 17 inches. That 16 and 17 inches should also be between 41 and 43 centimeters when my work was lying flat on a hard surface. Continue working your cowl, and once I have completed about 16 inches, I will show you how my work is looking. Here's my work once I've completed about 16 inches total, and you can see that camel stitch creates this beautiful horizontal, squishy and cozy stitch. My cowl is still measuring about 30 inches in circumference, so about 15 inches across or 38 centimeters across. And then here I'll show you how tall the cowl is. And again, just about 16 inches, maybe 16 and a half, and roughly 42 to 43 centimeters. This is where I would complete my cowl. If you would like something longer, you can absolutely continue with these stitches. This camel stitch creates a beautiful dense stitch, and you can see the inside is quite smooth. From here, I'm just going to complete the last stitch by slip stitching into the top of my very first stitch. Then I will cut my yarn and pull the tail through the last loop on my hook. From here, you want to weave in any tails or ends that you have, and I'll be working into the back of my work here to hide this tail. As a general rule, I just weave in the tail in as many directions as possible, but usually a minimum of 3 directions. So here I'm going down, and then I'm going to go back up again through some different threads here. And then I'm going to go off to one side, just looping through those threads. Now I'm going to pull until the tail comes off of my yarn needle. From here, you can also trim that little excess of the tail off. Depending on your yarn, you can also use a little bit of yarn glue or fabric glue right on the end of the tail. Going back to the beginning of our work, we had this tail that we need to close the bottom of the cowl with. Again, you're just going to use your yarn needle and grab the very base stitch, and then I'm going through it and then through the top of this other stitch. Now it looks like we just crocheted it, just like that. And I'm just going to weave in the tail just like I did on the top. So hopefully at least 3 different directions. Trim off the excess tail and then weave in any other ends you might have. From here, your cowl is all finished. I absolutely love this cowl and find it to be extremely cozy and warm, and anybody else who I've made these cowls for also agree that they are super, super cozy and warm. As always, thank you so much for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. If you got this far in the tutorial, please be sure to leave a blue heart in the comment section below. Have a lovely crochet day, and I hope to see you again in my next tutorial.